Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. I'm your service leader this morning, Heather Viron. Pronouns are she and her. And I'm so glad to see everybody here today, whether you're here in person, whether you're a little one or an older one or somewhere in between, whether you're online, watching us on the computer. We welcome you, and we're happy to see you here today. We're going to go ahead and start with some welcome and announcements. There we are. So we have several announcements. First, thank you to everyone who protested yesterday. Please come up to the front of the sanctuary right after the service for a group picture. Right after. It will be quick. Okay? All right, so that's the first announcement. Then we have UU the Vote. They're kicking off their 2026 campaign with the theme Ignite Solidarity, Reimagine Democracy. UU the Vote is an effort to bring our UU values into the public sphere in our representative democracy. This is a nonpartisan effort. If you have further questions, see Paula or Lauren, okay? Or if you don't see them somewhere, you can see me and I'll try to get you in touch with them, okay? All right. Then game night. Game night's coming up. Game night is here this Saturday, April 4th at 5 p.m. here in the sanctuary. We are going to be celebrating the Helton family's time here with us. They're going to be leaving us, is my understanding, yes? And so we're going to be celebrating them and having game night. It's going to be a walk-in taco bar. So you bring your favorite bag of chips, a drink, and a game, and all the other stuff will be here. And if possible, a $5 donation to help with the food costs. I don't know anywhere you can eat a meal for $5 these days, so that's a deal. Reach out to Mary Beth Ramsey for details. She's not here this morning, but if you're interested, I can put you in touch with her, okay? Let's have some fun and fellowship. Long-term planning announcement. We have 2 more listening sessions. We invite you to help shape UUCP's future. The Long-Term Planning Committee is excited to announce a series of 10 listening sessions, we have 2 left, to gather your input on our church's 5-year plan. These sessions will be held twice a month, immediately following Sunday service. Our meetings are scheduled for April 12th and April 19th. Those are our last 2, April 12th and April 19th. We encourage you to attend at least one session to share your suggestions and ideas for our church's goals over the next 5 years. Please see Brett if you have any questions. Brett's not here today either, but I can put you in touch with him. But yes, it's a good time to go and let your voice be heard as to what your ideas and suggestions are to help our church moving forward. Okay. UUCP is joining with more than a dozen other congregations in our area to work for justice in the realm of mental health. The next thing that is coming up is the Nehemiah Action, where we will ask decision makers to take tangible action to support mental health access. That meeting will be Tuesday, April 28th, 6 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Warrington, in the Warrington area. See Paula, Barbara, Lauren, or Penny Featherstone for details. And I can also help get you in touch with those folks. That is an excellent event. It's a chance to let our elected folks hear what we need in the community to help get the support that we need in the community to make our community a better place to live. Okay? And then finally, attention campers. We need a head count for our UU campout, October 9th through the 12th. We will go with 3 other UU churches in the Panhandle. We need a head count by the end of March. I think that's today. We're getting to the end of March. See Chris or Mary Beth to sign up. I know Mary Beth's not here. I don't see Chris. So again, I can put you in touch with the right folks if you're interested in the campout. All right, I think that is all of the announcements. Woohoo, we made it. So now we're going to proceed with the chalice lighting. I'm going to go over here and light the chalice. What happened to the screen? Oh, that's the UUA video. That's what we're watching. Okay, so I have to hit the button once more.
The Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola, the 8 Principles.
Number 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relation.
Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation.
Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregation and in society at large.
Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of existence,
of which we are all a part.
Number 8, active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
All right, and now we'll have the chalice lighting and opening words. Come into the circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come and you shall know peace and joy. Adapted from Israel Zangwill. Now for our opening hymn. In the gray hymnal number 318, We Would Be One. And if the choir would come up to help lead us, number 318, We Would Be One. That's in this hymnal, the gray one. Number 318.
Our
please remain standing for our UUCP covenant. Love is the servant of this church and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You may be seated. The choir, please stay up. Choir, please stay up. Everyone else may be seated. We're going to sing a centering piece. If you would like to hum along, that's fine, but mostly use this as a centering time.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. 1, 2, you. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at peace. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Thank you, choir. And now it's time for our joys and sorrows. This is a time that is not recorded. It is just for us here in the service in person. It's a time to share whatever personal joys or sorrows may be happening in your life and sharing them with our church community. We're going to start, for each person that comes up, please take one rock from the plate and drop it into the water. That represents your joy or your sorrow. And we're going to start, I'm going to take one to start us off. It'll be figuratively our big rock for all of the concerns that are happening worldwide when you turn on the news every day. Because there are a lot of concerns out there in this country and around the world. So that'll be the first rock, and then we'll start, and I'll hand the microphone to you. Next will be our time for all ages. You know me, I like to do this every time. So this is a book called I Am We by Susan Verde, art by Peter H. Reynolds.
I Am We, a book of community by Susan Verde, art by Peter H. Reynolds. I know it is important to take care of me, to focus on my own breath, my own needs, to be kind to my mind. Sometimes I wonder, is that selfish? How does caring for myself help anyone else? But then I realize that the better I feel inside, the more I can be there for others. My friends, my family, my community. Because I do not exist alone. I am part of something bigger than myself. And when we take the goodness and self-compassion inside and turn it outward, that is how we make progress and change. How we build, create, learn, and show love. How we care for each other affects the world. I am more than me. I am we. We really are, guys. When there are challenges and struggles, I can check on you. You can check on me. We can create a safety net so no one falls. No one. When there is hurtfulness and inequity, we can stand up for each other. We can sit, gather, march, sing, vote, stronger in numbers, louder in voices, as we call for justice. When there are differences in thoughts and opinions, we can have a conversation, listening, disagreeing, and agreeing with gentleness, finding the right solution for all of us. Us, guys, all of us. When there is shyness and a feeling of not belonging, we can be the welcoming committee, interested and thoughtful, making sure there is a place for everyone. Everyone. When there are problems to be solved with creativity, I can share my talents and you can share yours. We can combine our skills and ideas to dream up something spectacular. When there are good times, successes, and joy, we can celebrate, show our excitement and pride, and encourage each other to keep on rising. Let's see how far you can go. Connection is how I grow. Connection is how we grow. Connected is what we are. Part of a worldwide community, diverse and magnificent, kind and accepting, supportive and present, all of us important, none of us alone. I am not just me. I am we. And if we put our heads and our hearts together, if we keep on caring for ourselves and each other, everything is possible. Everything is possible. The end. Thank you for listening.
All right, now is the time for our offering, and this is our 5th Sunday past the plate. It will be going to Free Mom Hugs, and we have a representative here, and she's going to come up and give us some information about Free Mom Hugs.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vicki Saladino. My pronouns are she, her, and I am one of the state leaders for the state of Florida for Free Mom Hugs, which is a national nonprofit organization. Our mission is to empower the world to celebrate the LGBTQIA+ community through visibility, education, and conversation. A lot of you may have seen us at community events such as gallery nights, Pensa Pride, Stamped Film Festival, and some other events around town where we have a table and we are giving out hugs, which is predominantly what we do as Free Mom Hugs. But I wanted to give a little bit of a quick background story as to how hugs became associated with LGBTQIA+ community. And Free Mom Hugs was started by a woman in Oklahoma named Sarah Cunningham. Her son Parker came out to her as gay, and she initially rejected him due to her faith in Christianity. She was deep in the church, and she had grown up as a Christian, and it was against her beliefs at that time to be homosexual. And so that rejection caused a large split in their relationship. But she struggled for several years with that split and that internal battle of, how can I love my church and my faith and my community and also still love my child? And how can they be different things? How can my faith tell me not to love my child? So she did a lot of internal searching, and she also did a lot of research online, and she found a lot of information and data around the LGBTQIA+ community and how the separation of that community from their family members impacts them and oftentimes leads to suicide, unfortunately. This caused her to really search within herself and have some reconciling within herself and then eventually with her son, Parker. They rekindled their relationship, and he invited her to a Pride event in 2015. Due to her research and what she'd read about families not getting support from their own mothers, their own family members, their own friends, she created a homemade button that said Free Mom Hugs, and she vowed to offer a hug to anyone who made eye contact with her at that Pride event. The first hug that she gave was to a young woman who cried and said that it had been 4 years since her mother had given her a hug because she came out as a lesbian. She gave many, many hugs at that Pride event, probably hundreds, and heard hundreds of stories, and that kind of started her movement. In 2016, she had a banner created, and they did a march from Oklahoma to the Stonewall Inn, where they gave hugs along the way, and they had a celebration of the LGBTQIA+ community there. They did another one they marched from Oklahoma to where Matthew Shepard's body was found. They did a march for Harvey Milk. In 2018, Sarah posted a post on Facebook, which went viral, that said, PSA, if you need a mom to attend your same-sex wedding because your biological mom won't, call me. I'm there. I'll be your biggest fan, and I'll even bring the bubbles. That post went viral, so viral that she got a phone call from Jamie Lee Curtis, who we now know has a transgender daughter. Jamie Lee Curtis gave a sizable donation to Sarah so that she could stop her 20-year career and start a nonprofit organization called Free Mom Hugs. And that's what she did in 2019. So that's when Free Mom Hugs was established. And that was kind of scary because COVID happened right after that, and she just started a nonprofit organization based on physical touch. But we progress and we move and we're flexible, and from that came more marches, pride rides, which are kind of like parades in the car. But mostly you'll see us out again at community events offering hugs. Our goal is to change the world simply by showing up. We don't intend to replace the family members that are not accepting of their LGBTQ, family members. Our intent is to show love to that community and show them that even if their own family members are not accepting, that there are people who will accept you and love you for who you are. And hopefully those family members will also come and have a conversation with us as well. Maybe they'll hear about Sarah and Parker's story. Maybe they'll hear about some of our volunteers' stories and why they're there doing what they're doing. And maybe it will change their perspective as well. So we're not there to replace, we're there to help and to educate, but ultimately to show love to that community. And though we are known as Free Mom Hugs, we do allow volunteers, anyone over 18, so any dads, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, grandparents, and friends to be volunteers for our organization. Brett, he's not here today, but he has been giving free uncle hugs with us at gallery nights recently, and it's been a really great addition to our volunteer base. So thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. If you're curious, donations, if you do give a donation, they'll be passing the plate, and then also there's a QR code here to go straight to Free Mom Hugs donations for the state of Florida. But if you're curious as to what those donations go to, it does often cost for us to have a table or a tent at these local events. Also, we have, swag and things that are on our table for free at these events. So really the donations just allow us to keep showing up and providing that love and support to the LGBTQIA+ community. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate you.
So as the plate is passed, the choir will come up and sing an offertory. This is Happy First Week of Spring, written by Hollywood Jones. Thank you, choir. You may be seated. Today's speaker is our very own Honor Mosley Bell III. He has a bachelor's in social work. His pronouns are they, them. They are a social worker and community organizer committed to strengthening communities through thoughtful policy, collaboration, and care. They are currently pursuing a Master's of Public Administration in Sustainability and Resiliency Management and have experience in crisis response and community-based initiatives. Please welcome Honor Bell.
Good morning. What is safety? while in a diverse community. I'd like to invite you, if you'd like, to close your eyes. You can put your hand on your chest and your stomach, or put your hands around your shoulders and squeeze lightly. I'd like you to think of the safest space you've been in community. What did it look like? What did it sound like? What did you feel, smell, taste? Who was there? Who wasn't? And how did you know you felt safe? And when you're ready, you may open your eyes and return to this space. How do we embody our values as UUs in an intentional community with people from diverse backgrounds? From culture to civic alignment to even simply etiquette around expression, how are we stewarding the next generation while fully exploring what it means to be human? Cultures make us feel at home. They are the way we translate lived experiences across populations. They include the food we eat, the music we play, the celebrations we have, the way we mourn, meditate, and move. They decide what is elevated and what is excluded, what is appreciated and what is disowned. Cultures can be found across countries, states, cities, towns, workplaces, communities, and families. Some are designed democratically, and others not so much. In a diverse community such as ours, how do we decide how it is created and who gets included in its creation? See, it is culture that creates an atmosphere of who is safe and what feels safe. The dialectics of bridging the gap between who is part of the creation of a culture and who will be invited to participate in it after its creation is something that often gets left off the table. What I mean is, say we are planning for our world for tomorrow. We can only, of course, work with who is at the table at that time. But should assumptions of what is needed be made entirely off of who can be present? To put it more plainly, who do we see in our community today who is not at its table for its planning? And who do we want to see in our community tomorrow? I was part of and helped lead a movement in San Diego at the UU Church there for some time. It was interesting. It was an interesting experience. I was welcomed, asked to participate, and even received some support. But I never actually joined the church as a member. I decided to do my work on the outside and even help create and join a committee for the church called Journey Toward Wholeness. The charge of the committee was in the business of consulting and advising the church in its leadership on its policies, its procedures, its programming, and even its compensation for employees through a lens of radical inclusion, focusing on dismantling racism, eradicating oppression, and on bringing about transformation through increased awareness. The Journey Toward Wholeness Committee at First Church is composed of people of color and people of Anglo-European descent who are of various gender identities and sexual orientations. It was brought about for the explicit intent to create a safe and beloved community for all in the greater San Diego area. Its purpose was to look unequivocally at intersectionality and remove inhibitions to radical inclusion. What is intersectionality? Intersectionality is the interconnected nature of social categorizations, such as gender, sex, race, ethnicity, class, sexuality, religion, disability, physical appearance, age, and more, as they apply to a given individual or group in creating overlapping and interdependent systems of advantage, disadvantage, or discrimination. I'll repeat. Intersectionality is the interconnected nature of social categorizations as they apply to a given individual or group in creating overlapping and interdependent systems of advantage, disadvantage, or discrimination. For someone as intersectional as me, safety is obviously hard to come by. But the potential I see and desire I see in UU spaces to someday create that beloved community for all, I feel it is necessary to give my perspective on the blind spots I have seen across this country. It is hard to translate my experience into one Sunday service, but I feel it is a requirement from all in community with respect to capacity and interest to share what we can. Community is hard. It requires us to build space for conflict and understanding. It requires the expression of and respect for boundaries, as well as compassion for limitations, while also challenging us to move beyond the limitations we can change. It is when community lives into its fullest potential, do I see safety become a natural byproduct. See, when there is a sincere appreciation for someone, not adoration, infatuation, or tokenization, people can feel that at their core. But when there is a sincere appreciation for someone, that person begins to invite themselves into that community. For those who have learned to decipher the difference between appreciation and tokenization and the value of each in each scenario, whether through maturation or a survival skill, the immediate obsession of one's identity can be much. To put it plainly, people can feel when their participation and welcome is performative versus if it is integral to the makeup of the community's culture. Now, I do not fault people or communities who have not had to become as culturally nomadic as myself, meaning I have to find and bounce around from different communities to find a safe space. And that changes in each space what is safe and what I can and cannot do. But honestly, it's been an exhausting and lonely journey. I completely understand the need for community care. Churches are still the most segregated space in society, but as our world becomes more diverse and intent on authentic inclusion and expression, we must rise to the occasion of not becoming culturally irrelevant. This requires us to learn more about the world beyond these walls and to look to what we want to bring back into it. Not as a recreation of Ariel's grotto of human treasures in The Little Mermaid. Like, we cannot affectionately collect things from various cultures. But where the invitation to participate in the creation of the beloved community of tomorrow is extended, honored, and enforced affirmatively to change the actions of today. I am quite aware there's a delicate balance to be made here. We must be mindful to explore and implement changes for the things we aspire to be, while also not requiring people to lose their safe space today. I understand this experience firsthand. But we must invite the discomfort. We must invite the discomfort that will come from trying different things and being challenged to live with another's perspective in mind if we want to build that beloved community someday. What that means is we must mine our minds and our community for the imagination necessary to bring about a better world. So, I would like to invite you again for a meditation on what you see as a possible beloved community. If you can, close your eyes again. In this safe and beloved community of tomorrow, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you smell? What do you taste? Who is there? Who wasn't there before? How do you make those people feel safe? How would you make sure you create that safe space? What questions do you need to ask? Who in your broader community can you reach to without imposition to make sure those people like them can come and stay? And what will you do today to make sure this meditation comes true? Thank you.
Thank you, Honor. Now we will have our closing hymn. If the choir will come up to lead us, It's Building a New Way, number 1017 in the teal hymnal. Building a New Way, number 1017. Please stand as you're willing and able. Thank you. One quick well, I'll do that after I do the last thing. The closing words. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. By Wayne B. Arneson. And before you go, just quick reminder, next week is Flower Communion. Please bring a flower or 2 or 3 to join us for Flower Communion. Thank you. Go in peace.
And come up and get your picture. If you're at yesterday's protest.
Yes, if you were at yesterday's protest, come on up right now and let's do the picture.